Check, 1 2 1 2. Check. All right, it looks like all my levels are good. Let's get this show on the road. All right, we're here. There's probably no one online right now, but yeah, we're just gonna talk about the dreams, man. Dreams. The hell are dreams? Like, what do you think dreams are? Like, what the heck? My mic's moved. All right. Dreams are important things. Like, why are you alive if you don't have dreams? Like, what is the purpose of your existence if you don't have dreams? You don't have aspirations. I mean, some people, their dreams is basically just to be comfortable, just be in the same spot. Like, that's still something you work to maintain at the very least, unless you're, yeah, pretty much. You work in a certain fashion, you act a certain way, you do certain habits, or you don't do certain things to stay the same. So, yeah, most people have dreams. If you don't have a dream, I think that's a real problem, and I think people should try to discover what it is that they want. And I think we're so focused on physical measures of success, on physical things that we think should be part part of what you're trying to achieve, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. Like, they think getting the thing, buying the car, buying the house, I mean, it's different if you're doing it for someone else though. Like, if you want to buy your mom a house, for you that's success. Like, that's completely different, because the measure is showing, it comes from a place of gratitude where you want to do this for this person. But you also have to have a goal for yourself. Like, what comes next? It's kind of like revenge. It's like, once you're done, you go for revenge, you do all these things, you get to the point, and then after you get your revenge and you exact it, and it's just like, what's next? The same thing. When that's basically what happens when you're when you're in that kind of headspace. But basically, what I think we need is to kick our own butts and not be so contented, and not blame other people, not blame circumstances. I mean, circumstances sometimes make it hard and they complicate it, but you got to learn how to finesse, how to work around that, and just grind it out, man. Like, I was working 50 hours a week and I couldn't do this podcast or whatever this is, this streamcast, this thing. But I was still working at things to me that were important, such as focusing and learning business and marketing concepts. I was reading a textbook on typography, and now I'm learning graphic design and Illustrator. And I just got laid off from my job, and I'm completely fine. It's not even because I have money. Like, I have no idea how I'm going to pay the rent after next month, because I have enough for at least this upcoming month, March. I have enough to get through March, but I don't know how I'm going to get through April. But for me, that's not the problem. Like, I just feel like this is a playlist. I just feel like I'm in control of my own life, like, right now. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get the money, but I feel like I'm very much in control for the first time. That I'll find a way to earn money. I'll find a side gig. I'll find, I literally wasn't even doing anything, and I got a call from the U.S. Census, even though I turned them down because I was working the 50-hour work week job, and they just called me out of the blue, even though I turned it down. They're just like, "Hey, do you still need a job?" And I'm guessing they're desperate to find people in the area, and yeah, so I accepted. I'm going to do that part time and hopefully get me a little extra side money. But yeah. But I still have dreams that I'm trying to achieve. My ultimate end goal is to make the city that I'm in a better place. It's a really shitty place. It's garbage. It's horrible here. We have some of the highest pollution in the nation. We have some of the highest poverty in the nation. We have disproportionately underdeveloped areas. Like, we have abandoned entire districts that are abandoned. I mean, they're renovating it and they're trying to get rid of the quote unquote blight because they feel bad because it looks ugly, but they don't really care about, creating solutions for the actual residents or investing in the actual future of the constituents of this city. What they are concerned about is economic development, money, private interests, and it shows. They keep building things up north and they keep building out, and as people move up the ladder and they don't want to be in these socially depressed areas, in these uglier, older, more poverty-stricken areas, they just keep moving north. And as we move north with them, trailing behind the quote-unquote dream, they abandon areas and then they keep developing north, and it just keeps spreading out because we have so much empty land, because it's literally, we're just surrounded by like empty farmland and wilderness around the city for the most part. And they're not investing in the heart of the city. They're not investing. I feel like they have no ultimate goal. Like, all of their plans and their proposals are very reactive. It's like, oh, the city's ugly, let's make it pretty. But what's the point of changing the wallpaper on the wall if the foundation is still eroded? You know what I mean? It's like, there's no point in doing that. Why would you do that? So I'm like, y'all need a goal, you need a dream, you need to focus on it. But they just don't care. They're up in City Hall, they're up in their their nicer areas, and they're like, oh, it's there's nothing I can do. How do you solve this problem? But instead of trying and failing, I'd rather they try and fail. Like, they try something and it fails, and we're like, well, that didn't work. Well, then you try something else, and eventually, the law of attraction, the law of even statistics and numbers, if you keep doing something over and over, like if you keep flipping a coin and it keeps getting tails, eventually you're gonna get a heads. And that's kind of how you should be looking at life. Like, especially if you have a dream and sometimes you keep failing, and don't let it discourage you. Like, literally, it gets harder and harder, but if you have that perseverance, just keep going for it. Like, literally, it's just a matter of going for it and going for it hard. And there's a little bit of luck involved, and there's a little bit of I think, what was I gonna say? A little bit of luck, and it depends also on your creativity. Like, if you're a creative person, think of a creative way to solve that. Like, people right now, the information economy, the way we think about things, like, creativity really is where the money's at. It's not just making something cool, but really thinking of creative solutions to everyday problems. Like, think about it. Like, people are developing services, not actual products, but services. Like, right now, consultation, communication, like developing strategy, like knowing how to organize and plan something out, and being self-aware. Those are the highest in-demand skills, the human-centric skills, like being creative. Like, they're trying to make AI that can be creative, but it's still not the level that we can be, like, people are just way creative. People are just way emotional. And sometimes we need that perspective of someone else to kind of guide us through our own like dumb behaviors and things that detract us from getting to our dream. We have old programming. We think that if we go to school and we get a degree, and then we get a job, and that's gonna solve our problems. That's not even half of your life. Depends on how much you work, but that's only gonna be half of your life. Like, what about the other half? What about at home? What about your personal relationships? What about spiritual fulfillment? What about, some people don't like learning, and I'm cool. Some people just like chilling and watching movies. Some people are just completely content with going to work, going home, eating a slice of pizza, and that's perfectly fine. But for those others, that other demographic of us that are like, yo, man, I feel like I'm not doing anything with my life. Like, I feel empty. I feel unfulfilled. Like, I know I'm doing enough at work. I'm killing it at work, but it's not enough. And then why? Why isn't it enough? And you can't describe it. You don't know why it's happening to you. And it's because you have to look inward and really identify what your values are. What is valuable to you? What do you like to do? Why is it important to you? And try to integrate what you love, what you're good at, and what makes you money. What do people need? You combine those three things and you align your entire life to like converge into a single point of just like being finally fulfilled, because you're doing what you want, what you're interested in. And it's not going to stay that way your entire life. You might shift into other things. You might start a business for, let's say, production, and then all of a sudden you start getting into like, I don't know, motion graphics and 3D effects or something, CG and, for like Marvel movies or something. And then you move into that, and then that's your interest. Like, it doesn't have to be static. It just has to be where you can figure it out and find a way. But first, like I said, you have to stop. You have to think. You have to really evaluate what are your values. What is important to you? Why is it important to you? What are the steps that I can make to make money off of what I love to do? And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm literally this entire past week, because I got laid off on Monday because I haven't worked night shift, so I was kind of just doing some errands earlier that day, and then I just get called and they're like, your assignment has ended, because I'm working with a temp agency. And I'm like, okay. And so that was it. That was that. I got fired. And I was very relieved because it gave me time to actually work. And I've been literally working until like 3 or 4 in the morning. I usually get up around 1 or 2 p.m. because I'm still on the night shift schedule. And I go to sleep, not even at 4. I go to sleep like at 5 or 6 actually. And I go to sleep about 6-7 hours. And I wake up and I'm just loving it. Like I'm killing it. I'm learning so much. I'm using Adobe Illustrator, taking tutorials. I'm learning graphic design. I'm learning typography. I'm learning my business skills. And I'm just learning and learning and learning. And it's just like, I'm literally just inundating myself when I'm doing any other kind of thing, like eating, showering, brushing my teeth, washing my face. I'm listening to podcasts about it. And I'm just really just pushing it up, man. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. I'm just kind of going off on a rant right now. Just like, well, not really a rant, but like, dreams, man. You got to just like get it together. Thank you for the compliment. I know this is kind of my lazy one. I usually have a better setup, but my room's kind of a mess. So I was like, I'll just crop it in real close so that you can't see the mess. Cause yeah, so that's my story right now. I got laid off on Monday. And it's not even a big deal. Like, I am so happy I got laid off because that job was horrible. The environment was horrible. The people had no prospects. Like, they were good people. It's not to diss that to say they're bad people, but they wanted to just stay. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you so much, Bourgeois. I really appreciate that. Like, for reals. But yeah, man, like, I'm just trying to motivate people. Like, I want to offer value in the things that I've learned. Like, I've literally spent this entire past 2 months, like just inundating myself in it, because I'm working the night shift, working 50 to 55 hours a week of like labor, of like working in a chemical, working in a semi-toxic work environment where management is just like, it was a bad spot. It was a bad place. Like, it was very backwards. It felt like I was like went to the old country or something, you know, man, what I mean? Like, it was like they didn't follow safety rules. It was very obvious like sexism and like very things that like HR just glazes over. There was a lot of like favoritism, and I managed to hang on for 3 months in that, and I'm kind of glad, because now I stuck it out, and now I can get unemployment, so I'm not, and it helped me out during those months, because I literally maxed out my credit cards. Like, I was trying to find another job, because I was going to university for my junior year, and I kind of ran out of money, and so I couldn't go back. But I decided I'm not going to go back, and I'm just going to try to make my dreams work. So I was just like, you know what, we're going to do this. We're just going to go for it. Fuck it, why not? And yeah, and I was doing this once a week, this like kind of just talking about dreams and stuff. And now I feel so much like, I'm glad I have the time and the energy to do it, because when you're working like a labor job for that, like my knees were just like, they've been sore for like 3 weeks. Like, they were just hurting, and finally after resting for like 4 days, because it was dumb, because we only got 1 day off a week, and so we'd work five days 1 week, and then 6 days the next week. But technically in the work week, in the work week, it would still count as 6 days, kind of, sort of. But they were never together. Like, we'd get Friday off, we'd work Saturday, and then we get Sunday off. Or we get like Friday off, but we'd work Thursday and Saturday. So you'd never get 2 days off in a row, and it was really annoying. But whatever, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, dreams, man. Dreams. Like, for reals, you gotta like really look at yourself. What is important to you? What do you like doing? And it's not like, if you really like video games and you see yourself so passionate about video games, so passionate about them, like, you know, think about what different niche about video games do you really like? Do you really like talking about developers and their creative strategies and how they came up with the game and talking about that? Because people want to learn things. Like, you can literally start a business. Like, I kind of got into the whole Gary V like mindset now, and he's right. Like, I was kind of doing the research and thinking about it myself, because I wanted to be like a full-time streamer at a certain point, and I was just like, you know what, it's not for me, because I'm not. As I get older, I'm starting to move away from video games. Like, I still enjoy them. I can appreciate them. I have fun from time to time, but I'm moving further away from them, from, you know, the gamer lifestyle, because that's how I was. Like, I literally just come home from work, play until like God knows what hour, and then just rinse and repeat. But I'm over that. I'm moving away, and I can't see myself playing video games. So that's why I just decided to do this and just talk and just help people. Like, hearing someone else do it kind of helps. Like, it reaffirms your thinking, and it's like, good, I'm not alone. There is more to this. There are more things that I want to do. And sometimes, like, your circle of friends, your surroundings, like, it hangs on you. It just reinforces like the negative thoughts inside your head. Like, it tells you, you know, maybe I shouldn't do my dreams. Maybe, you know, that is unrealistic. Like, maybe I'm not good enough, or whatever. If you're not good enough, then put in the work until you are good enough. It's like, it's like, you see some of these people and they post all these success stories, and there's some people who are fake. Like, they get success up to a certain point and they get content with that. And I've always been kind of like a overly enthusiastic, like overly engaged person. Like, when I'm into something, I'm 1000% into it. So any of you guys want to like chime in? Like, what are dreams to you? Like, why? What's holding you back from your dream? What's your situation? We'll talk about it. We'll just have a discussion. Like, maybe I can help kind of like start to change that thinking. Like, we got to talk about it. Like, if you don't want to talk about it, if you're not open to be aware, to have someone else tell you your truths, because sometimes you don't want to hear it. Sometimes it does hurt. Sometimes it is like, I don't want to hear this. Sometimes it is painful. Sometimes you don't want to accept it. But I think I've worked a lot to be very self-aware. And I'm super fortunate to have two people in my life that call me out on my bullshit. And I love that. And I listened to Gary Gary Vaynerchuk. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he's a dude who just basically started a liquor store business for his dad, and he worked 15 years for his dad. And then after that, he's like, you know what? I built up my dad's business to a multi-million-dollar business. He's like, I'm gonna start my own business, and he started Empathy Wines, and he blew that up. And then he started a media company, and now he's a big dog now. He's doing like Super Bowl advertising commercials. He makes tons of content, like podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like, he's everywhere all the time. And he has a deck, which is basically like a PDF, and it tells you, like, it's a bunch of slides, and it basically tells you how to like get social media followers if that's really important to you. But it's like, what are you gonna do? You got to offer value to the other people. Like right now, I'm offering you perspective. I'm offering you a different voice, something else, like maybe even motivation or just something. I'm offering you my 2 cents. I'm offering myself to the public. I'm giving you guys something. Like, if you're here, you want to hear it, like, right? If you're not here, you don't want to hear it, or maybe you didn't find me, and that's perfectly fine too, because I'm just starting. So, but eventually hopefully I'll spread out enough that other people will be able to hear this. Like I'm amped, I'm pumped. Like, I am so pumped right now, because like I feel like nothing's gonna get in my way, and this music is on point. Like, I didn't even plan this music out. It's just on point. But yeah, it's like, I am so pumped. I am so stoked for life. Like, I'm 29 right now. Like, at first, when I first started on this like weird like journey of trying to like just go for it, like take this risk, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I felt so much regret, so much kind of like self-worth issues. Like, I wasted so much time. There's all these people who are 20 who like are already like getting started, and they have all this and that, and it's like, who gives a shit? Good for them. I'm happy for them. And why am I guilting myself over what other people are doing? It's like, I had every opportunity to do what they were doing. Like, I wasn't disabled. I wasn't, in a coma. I wasn't in a horrible accident and I had to rehab, or like, there was no life-altering event that kept me from doing what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And you could do it right now too. Like, you can literally start day one on your off time. If you're a very like off the cuff person and kind of impulsive, find someone who will help you kind of strategize and give you a direction, or give you like someone who's more organized basically, and try to take what you can from them, or have them come along on the ride with you. You know what I mean? You gotta have someone who complements your strengths and your weaknesses. Like, you gotta fill the gap somehow. And I think one of the most important things is to enjoy the grind, not the end result. If you're just in it for the end result, don't even start. It's not worth it. Like, I'm serious. Like, if you seriously want to start a business, if you seriously want to follow your dream, you gotta enjoy the process. Or you have to enjoy what your dream is, what you're doing. Like, for an actor, for instance, like, there's tons of stuff you're gonna go through just to kind of like jump to the other side, to be famous or whatever, to be a known actor. You gotta jump through so many hoops, and you gotta love what you do so much that everything else in between just makes it worth it. So you gotta be one of those two. For me, that's what I think anyways. This is just my opinion. There might be other, variations or whatever, but this is just me saying, like, you have to, one, completely love what you're doing, that every other menial sacrifice, everything that you do for it, it makes it completely 100% worth it. Or 2, love the grind, love learning things every day, love just being in the middle of shit, just being dirt, working your way up the mountain. And I'm the latter type. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the climb. Like, I get bored of games, kind of like, I used to play a lot of MMORPGs where I'd love the whole grind to getting to the max level, getting the gear, doing raids, doing all that stuff. But once I got to the top, I didn't want anything. Like, I didn't care if I was like the quote unquote badass. I didn't want to be the best. I just enjoyed the grind so much. And I think this big plan that I have now, I finally set it in stone, is to improve this city. Like I said, like, this city it lacks prospects. It lacks opportunities. Like, you can get a college education here, but it's very limited what you can do with it. Like, you're either going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you know, all the basic things that you need in the city function. You know, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be, you know, a dentist. You know, it's like, there's no creative jobs here. And there's a few of them, and I see a couple of them. Like, I've just recently found some that are very... Hi there. How do I say your name? H.T. Faisal? Hi. Welcome to the stream. Like, if you want to talk about dreams, we could talk about dreams. Like, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Like, if you want to have a back and forth, we can totally just, like, talk about that. Like, I'm open to dialogue. I'm open to talk about these things. I mean, if you don't want to, it's cool. I'm perfectly fine with it, but I'm just saying, like, dreams, man. Like, follow your fucking dreams. Like, if you really... And don't just think you want the dream. Like, really think about why this dream is your dream. Like, write it down. Like, I'm serious. Like, if you don't know, if you just want the dream because it sounds nice and there's no real, like, burning desire inside of you, don't fucking do it. It's gonna leave you down a lie. It's just gonna be a very empty journey. Like, it's gonna be for nothing. You're gonna get there and you're just gonna be like, you're gonna feel exactly the same. Like, getting to milestones that have no connection to what makes you tick, to what makes you wake up in the morning and look forward to each day. It's not like some people, they have a plan where they want to go to school and do, like, their quote unquote plan B and do that while they're building up, you know, what they actually want to do. And that's perfectly fine, because it's a longer way of getting to where you want, and it's relatively safer and more comfortable. But I mean, I don't knock that. Like, you can do that too. I'm not saying don't do that. Like, don't go to school or anything and be a dropout like me. Like, I'm saying do what works for you and really know why you want to do what you do. Like, knowing yourself is literally 80% of achieving your dreams. The other 20% is just the work. You got to do the work. Like, if you want to be a kick-ass photographer, take pictures every day. Like, spend 1 hour learning about either photo editing techniques, taking photos of people, studying other people's photos, and, like, really breaking it down. Like, why does their photo look so cool? What gear did they use? It's not even the camera. Like, I'm not even talking about the camera. Like, certain cameras have certain qualities. And if you know that, you'll be like, okay, I know which camera is best for the job. But the camera doesn't make the difference. Like, I've seen pictures that are completely amazing taken on an iPhone compared to, you know, a $10,000 camera or something. It's just, you got to know context of what you're doing. Like, iPhone camera is going to look slightly different than, you know, one taken on $10,000 camera. What makes it different? And how can I get my iPhone camera to look like a $10,000 camera? Because you can do it close enough to where some people, they can't even tell the difference. I mean, granted, it's going to be, you know, bigger resolution or whatever. But I mean, if you crop it the same size, like let's say it's an Instagram photo, like you're not going to be able to tell if you don't blow it up. It's like learn your craft of whatever you want to do, whether it's speaking, whether it's marketing, whether it's being on here, whether it's, and know who you're catering to. Like I'm trying to like, I literally want to help people. Like I genuinely want to help people. And I've always been very, because I'm a very introverted person, although it might not seem like it right now. But I actually joined a music Discord when I was in my early 20s. And we had to sing and we had to play music like in front of, like in public channels. We'd have like little, you know, going back and forth and shit. And that really got me comfortable with speaking to people and public speaking. And it's scary talking to people, like to strangers, but I feel like I've put myself out there enough times and I've met such amazing people just like talking to strangers. Like I met someone the first time I went to Camp Flognaw by myself. I actually do have a Discord server. I need to actually post that, but I will post it in here. Like this is literally just starting. Like I literally started this week, like hardcore, full time. I have a plan. I'm trying to post content every day. I have a Facebook I just opened. I have Instagram. Like, it's just amazing, man. I'm just literally trying to get this. Where is... Come on. Give me 1 second. What's going on? How do I edit invite? There it is. Let's see if this works in the chat. Like, I'm going to try to post, probably stream around 6 p.m. or 7 Pacific every day. 5 days a week, at least. So I'm going to try to make this work. Like, this is a very good process for me, reaffirming what I believe and sharing it. Like, every day I'm going to talk about something different. Right now I'm talking about my dreams. What are my dreams? Like, what is dreams? What are dreams? Like, why is a dream a dream? Like, think about it. The word dream. It's like when you go to sleep, you dream. It's like an illusion. It's like something, quote unquote, that's not real. And I think some people make that association. They think like a dream's a dream. But it's also your job to manifest that dream. It is an illusion. It is a thought. It is an idea. That's why it's a dream, because it's not real. But that's why you chase that dream and you grab it in your hand and you manifest it. Like, a marine biologist, that's totally flipping cool. I super respect you for liking science. Like, I am so bad at science. It just puts me to sleep. Like, I find the concepts very fascinating, but actually doing the science, like the studies and writing papers and like doing the experiments, I find that so incredibly boring. Like, I just don't have the patience for it. Like, as you can see, like, my brain is like everywhere at once. I'm like past, present, future all the time. And it's just like, it drives me crazy. Like, it's hilarious. And I don't seem that way, because when you meet me at first, I'm a very quiet and collected person. But it's when I get passionate about something, you can see me riled up. Like, you guys can tell that I am very passionate. I am very wired right now, because it's something I just fucking love. Like, I just feel it like right here. And it's just like, I transmit that very well when I'm passionate about something. So what made you decide to want to be a marine biologist, if you don't mind me asking? You want to share that with us? Would you mind sharing why you want to be a marine biologist? Like, why is that your dream? Like, what impacted you, or how did you find that? Like, what got you to that? This is what I want to do. Yeah, if you don't want to share, it's completely fine. Like, I'm totally fine with you if you're not comfortable with it. I just like having conversations about these types of things, like having a back and forth. It just, you know, like I don't want to just be talking about myself every day all the time. It gets boring, you know. I don't know. I'm also going to try to record these and put these as podcasts. So if you guys are interested, I'm probably going to do that soon. You loved the ocean ever since you were a kid? Okay. Oh, I want to become a marine biologist because I love the ocean ever since I was a kid. I love swimming, but I'm not a fast swimmer. The ocean is a beautiful place for me, and it's just like a dream for me. That's pretty cool. So you have like a positive, like memories maybe. You have some emotional connection to the ocean. Like you just love the water, you love the creatures, you love to study about them, to learn them, to observe them. Like you're crazy about it. And it's just like some people with video games, like they're crazy about video games. I think that's super cool that like you know that. Like I'm super happy for you that there's people who they just know like that. This is what I want, and they go for it and they do it. And for me, that's like that like blows my mind because it took me a very long time to figure out what I wanted to do, like a very, very long time. Like I'm 29 and I just figured out what I want to do and how to do it. And I think the problem with a lot of people is they know they want to do something, but they don't know how to do it. And they really need someone to guide them. And they don't have the people around them, either mentors or figures, to really plant that seed in their mind that I can do this, that there is other ways that but now with the internet, it's like that there's really no excuse anymore with the internet. Like you have the whole world at your fingertips. Like literally. You can talk to anyone. I've heard like recently, because I'm just listening to like people's stories and stuff. There's some people who literally they just send off DMs to like big companies and they're like, hey, I want to do this for you. Like the dude who designed some of the designs for like the Bixby like marketing. Like that dude literally sent an Instagram DM to Samsung, and he got hired on. And he was like a dude like from Brazil or something, and I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. That's wild. He literally sent off a DM on Instagram and became like it was that simple, but it's not that simple. Because he probably worked at graphic design for many, many, many hours to get to the point to impress that person at Samsung for that. So that's why it's important to put in the work. Like I said earlier, you got to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, it's not going to work out. Like you can't be like, oh, I'm a movie director, and you like made like one like crappy movie on your iPhone. Like either you got to be a goddamn genius with like natural born talent, and that iPhone movie was like was like an Oscar award winning movie, or you're just gonna fail, and then you're gonna be like, oh, it didn't work, and then you use that as an excuse to not chase your dreams. You're like, it didn't work, I had a bad thing, and also worse off, and you might tarnish your name or get a bad reputation for being a liar, a faker. Which for me, I think it's counterintuitive. You know, it's not a good thing to be doing things like that. Like, you gotta chill. Just chill, put the work in, and chase the dream. And you can put the work in while you're chasing the dream. Like, it's not. Don't get yourself trapped in doing all the busy work, but never actually doing concrete steps to getting there. There's a lot of people. There's tons of people who do that. It's the same thing with school. Like, people are like, oh, I want to be a musician, and they go to college and they take this music school and they do all this and that, and they don't learn any of the business skills. They don't go out, to network or associate, because it's a business. It's an industry. It's a music industry. Like, they don't put themselves out there to where the big shots, or the people who can get them in, or where they can start, their own maybe production, like Top Dog Entertainment. Like, he put himself out there and he started the business, and he caught talent. He caught Kendrick, he caught Schoolboy Q, he caught, everyone. Or you can create your own. Like, just think about Tyler, the Creator, and what he did with what was it called? Odd Future. Like, think about it. Like, Tyler, the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, Jasper, Taco, Frank Ocean, Casey Veggies. Who else was in the group? I don't know, but they all went their separate ways. Domo Genesis. But he literally started that up. He had an idea. He wanted to make a magazine. He wanted to get all these cool people, and he grouped them and he made his own. Like, you gotta take steps to make the dream a reality. Don't just focus on the skills. Because there's plenty of people who are skilled, but not all of them are able to communicate effectively, or not all of them are. That's what you really got to focus on. You got to focus on what connects you to people. How do you get people to understand the value that you have and why they need that value? It's like right now, you guys are listening to me because I have a different perspective. And I'm offering you that to you because you want that. You want something different. You don't want me going, look, I'm on YouTube. Hey, check out this cool video game. Like, you guys stopped by here to listen to me talking. Like, and I'm offering what you guys want. Because if you guys don't want it, you guys leave, right? Like, you're not going to just sit here and watch me listening to something you don't want to listen to. You're here because you want to listen to me. Like, I'm offering you some kind of advice, some kind of frame of thinking that's possibly going to change how you look at life, and possibly for the better, make your life better. And that's really what I want for you. That's genuinely why I'm doing this. Like, I really want you guys, because I've been in that place where you're frustrated, where you feel so like your life has no flipping meaning. And sometimes you take that for granted. Like, you get, especially I noticed that when people start getting success for the first time, and they're at a good place, but they're so stuck on, like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm not where my expectation has been set. And they don't appreciate everything they have around them. And I think that's a very, always be appreciative, always be humble. And don't be humble because people tell you to be humble. Like, if you're going to have a moment to gloat, do it. Don't be an a-hole. Just do it real quick, and then get that out of your system, and then just return to where you were, and where you are. Like, be appreciative. That's the easiest way to be humble. People say be humble, but they don't really understand how to be humble. I think that's a real problem. Like, just slow down. Think about everything you have around you. Think about how you don't worry about where you're going to sleep. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat. You don't have to worry about random fires exploding your house or something. I mean, there's some places where you do have to worry about that, and I apologize if you're in one of those areas, but I mean, you don't have to worry about, like, a plane crashing into your house or something, There are areas where people have to worry about that, and it's horrible. It breaks my heart. Like, literally, I read the news and I feel like I want to cry. Like, I hate that I follow the white helmets, who are like this kind of non-profit rescue group, kind of like firefighters. And they're in Syria, and what they do is they rescue people because Syria is just getting bombed. Like, you guys hear about it, you guys know about it. It happens all the time. They're just getting bombed. And what they do is they rescue people from the wreckage, from the rubble. And that's all they do. And it's just like, there's a Netflix documentary on it, and it's a beautiful documentary. Like, it's beautiful. And they tell me about this story where And it's crazy because their families live there, so they could even be rescuing their own loved ones. And it's just like it's crazy because they're literally just helping people. That's all they're doing. They're rescuing people in the wreckage. And there was one where they saved a baby. It was a newborn baby, and it was just like they were digging and like removing wreckage for like 6 hours or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact time, but it was for a long time. And they can hear the baby crying. And they saved that baby, and they like literally like worked. I don't even know. I think it was all night. Like, and they took that baby out, and the dude just had a child who was like around that age. And when he found that baby, like in that documentary, like you just see him like crying. Like everyone was crying. Like it was just like literally a miracle. Like a newborn baby out of everyone, like an entire fucking like apartment building collapsed, and they rescued a baby from the wreckage, like a newborn, like 4-month-old baby. And I'm just like, dude. And that's what keeps them going. Because sometimes you're in that job, you're taking dead bodies out, seeing worried loved ones like at the site, like mortified, like you have to give them the bad news and everything, but that genuine appreciation of life, like that passion, that drive, that feeling of just saving someone and just knowing you literally made a difference between someone's surviving and someone dying, like that's enough for them. And that just like blew my mind. Like I was just like, holy fucking shit. Excuse my language, but holy fucking shit. That's powerful shit. And you can do that with words. You can do that. You can change someone's perspective by saying something, by not telling them. Don't tell people to do things. Ask them questions better. Ask them and guide them along their own thinking until they come to the realization of what they need to change. If you really want to help someone. Some people don't want to be helped, and they can't be helped because they don't want to help themselves. And I feel a lot of pity, and I feel a lot of affection towards them at the same time. Like I feel bad for them, and I still care for them because I can see how they self-sabotage themselves, like to not get what they want. They want to stay there. They think they're never going to get out, and they just put a blanket over their head and say, I'm never going to leave. Like I'm never, there's no way out. And sometimes you have to wait until they're ready. And some people never get ready. Like they're trapped in that mindset, and it's very, very, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very, very, very difficult when they're not willing to change them. And that's why like certain amazing individuals who really know themselves and are very centered and they know what they want, they find themselves able to be empathetic and connect to other people because they've been there. They've thought about it. They know why they do the things they do. And they can see those same things in other people. And when you can connect at that level, when you can lock into someone like that, like you're just locked in, like laser locked into what their fears are, what their doubts are, what their thinking is, and you refute that, and they're willing to accept that, it's so powerful. It's just like that Yu-Gi-Oh moment. I don't know if you guys are old enough for Yu-Gi-Oh, but that moment where like Yugi summons Exodia, and then like Kaiba's like, "What? That's impossible!" And he's like, "Open your mind," and he just goes, "What?" Like the screen turns white, and he was never the same. That's kind of, yeah, like it's crazy. Like I heard a story from what was his name? It was, let me look him up real quick. Let me find his name real quick. I should have the tab open still. Errol Gerson. And he had a story that he said he's he's like an amazing like business dude. There was a story he had, and he had a student, because I think he's a teacher at like art center or something. He teaches like business or something, like business design, or I don't know, some kind of like business accounting, something like that. But he's there, and he's like, he has this student, and the student hates him. He's like, "I hate you." And it's like, why? It's like, because you're a what did he say, like a born again Christian or something. I don't know. He's like, he hates him because he's so happy, and he finds value in everything and everyone. And he's like, I don't appreciate. Oh, he's like trying to tell him about like appreciation. He's like, I'm not thankful. I don't own, like, I'm not thankful to anyone for anything, and I'll never be. And like I don't owe anyone anything, or you know, kind of that kind of mindset. I'm not sure what the exact words were, but he says something along those lines. And he goes, and Mr. Gerson tells him, he's like, "All right." He's like, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? Like, he's like, "I'm not thankful for anything." It's like, I don't want to thank anyone. He's like, "What about your bed?" He says to him finally. Like they get to the point, and he's like, just before when you wake up in the morning, look at your bed and tell it, 'Thank you, bed, for giving me a good night's rest.'" And you know, like you know, he comes the next class. Like a week and a half later, he comes back and he talks to the teacher. He's like, "You know what? I hate you. Look at what you've done. Every time I wake up in the morning, I can't stop. I look at my bed and I think about you, and it frustrates me, and I'm so mad, and look what you've done to me, and I can't, you know, it's stressing me out, and blah blah blah." And so he finally does it one day after he yells at Mr. Gerson, and you know, kind of like, and he finally breaks down and he says, "All right, fine, I'll say it." He says, "Thank you, bed." And then as he said that, his girlfriend was coming out of the shower, the student, right? The dude who's not thankful to anyone. As he said that, his girlfriend was coming out of the shower. And she said, "Did you say something?" And he was like, "Oh, I was just telling my bed thank you for giving me a good night's rest." And then his girlfriend starts crying. And he's like, "Yo, what's wrong? What's wrong? You know, like what's going on?" And he's like, "So you thank your bed, but you'd never pay attention or thank me for anything and everything that I do." And it's just like, that impacted, like that moment, like him just saying that, like being thankful to his bed, got all of these events in motion to the point where his girlfriend said that to him, and he didn't respond negatively. It hit him. It impacted him. It like completely changed his perspective on his entire life. And he felt so bad, and you know, I don't know, he probably hugged her or kissed her, or like they talked, or I think is what he said. And they talked for hours and hours, and they got out all these feelings, and all these issues, and all these things happened. And then he started calling other people up and telling them how much he loved them and how much he cared about them. And he realized the importance of really being appreciative and thankful. And it completely changed his life. And I guess from what he said in that interview that I heard from him, he still talks to him to this day. He still gets emails and messages from that individual. And I'm just like, dude, this dude literally told him to thank his bed, and it completely changed the course of his life. And I'm just like, dude. And that's what dreams are, man. That's exactly what dreams are. What happened to the music? This is way too dramatic. I need something like funky going on back here. That's... yeah. It's crazy. I'm just like, wow. I don't know. I probably didn't do the story justice. That dude is an amazing orator. Like, he has this like rhythm, and he has this commanding voice that you just want to listen to him. And he kept repeating along the story, this repetitious talk. It's kind of sounded like a poem. It's just like, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. And that's exactly how it is with following your dreams. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. All of a sudden, your shitty apartment is the best apartment. All of a sudden, you know, your relationship that's going horribly, you're going to think, maybe she actually is someone who puts up with a lot, and I'm being selfish. Like, it just completely changes it. And that's what you have to do with your dream. That's how this all ties back into the central concept. To follow your dream, you have to change the way you look at yourself. You have to change the way you look at your habits, the way you live your life, the way the people around you and what they say to you. And don't take things personally, because sometimes people, they want the best for you and they're scared, and they don't understand what it is to have their dream, because they never had anyone in their life who has taken that risk to go for the dream. So to them, it's just scary, and they don't want to see you in a bad place. They don't want to see you, you know, struggling. But they don't understand what it's like when you're not following the dream. If you're one of those people that are passionate to follow their dream, they don't understand what it's like feeling unfulfilled. Because for them, maybe they're happy where they're at. They're content. They feel safe. They feel comfortable. That's totally fine. Not everyone's going to go out and follow their dream. There's still people who have to, you know, wake up and take the garbage out. And there's people who love that job. And there's some people who do it just because it's the job they hate the least. And, you know, it's not the ideal, but someone's got to do it. I mean, it sucks. Like, I don't know. I don't know that one, to be honest, like how to make that better. But I have met some people that they love their job. They'll do like the most simple, boring, basic thing, to me anyways, but they love it so much. And I don't demean it. I don't say that it's meaningless or anything. It's just like, it's not for me, you know? Like, some people love baking. Some people love talking to other people. And that's enough for them. Like, if they work anywhere where they get to talk to people, that's making money is just the cherry on top. And I think that's how we gotta change the way we look at things. We gotta change the way we think about things. We gotta change the way we see ourselves. And don't blame yourself. Don't shame yourself, because that just leads you down the wrong path. It detracts from what you're doing. You're not doing your dream. You're worried about what people think. You're worried about looking stupid. You're worried about failing. Every time you fail, you're getting that much closer to succeeding. It's the law of numbers. It's the law of attraction. Maybe someone will see your failure. You know what? Make it public. Post it on social media. The people who love you will support you. And if you have a social media following, the people who are, what is this music? Happy birthday. No. Yeah. But yeah, your social media following, like your fans, they'll give you support. And sometimes that's what you need. You just need someone to reaffirm that what you're doing is okay, that your setbacks are only that. It's only a setback, but you're going to get there eventually. And if you're not that driven, don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't chase the dream if you only want to get things. Like if you want to be famous just to be famous, it's not going to work. If you only want to be successful to buy a big house and have cars and shit, it's not worth it. Like you got to love something about it. And that's why some people they make it big and then they disappear and you're just like, what happened to this person? Like they're not making music anymore. They're not doing this. And then you find out that, they're spending time with their family. Maybe they're writing books like Ice Cube. That dude studied architecture. He went to college and he studied architecture and he's an architect and he makes buildings. You're like, Ice Cube the rapper? I'm like, yeah. Because he made it and he found other areas of interest. He wanted to be a dad. He couldn't be on tour all the time and, making music and stuff. He's like, nah, I want to spend time with my kids and shit. It's like, I just want a normal job and I find this interesting. And yeah, that's what he did. Dude from Compton. Big rapper, big West Coast, iconic dude. He's an architect. He's a dad now. And that's what you got to think about. Sometimes you get to a certain spot and you're just like, you get to a certain spot and you got to stop and you got to think, is this still what I want? And you really got to evaluate, because sometimes your life changes, your perspective changes, your wants and needs change. It's like sometimes you want a bowl of cereal at night. Sometimes you want to eat a hamburger for breakfast. It's like, it's the same idea. It's like on a larger scale, but the same general concept. The things you want change. Like sometimes you want a donut, sometimes you want coffee. Sometimes you want a pie, sometimes you want a cake. It's like, that's really all it boils down to. It's like, just fucking chase your damn dreams. Know yourself first. Know why you want the dream. Then look at people who've done it. Look at if it's something you really want. Look at if you'll enjoy the grind and learning. I think that's all you need, man. Hey, how's it going, man? I'm actually just about to wrap this up. I've been just going off, man. Yeah. I'm so glad you stopped by, though. If you want, you could jump into the Discord, and I'm gonna have a schedule soon. Yeah, I'm gonna have a schedule soon for this. We're talking about dreams, man. Dreams. I hope you get your dreams. Chase your dreams. I'm also gonna turn this into a podcast, and I'll probably post that in the Discord. Yeah, I gotta update my page. I literally haven't done this in like. You guys can probably see my last post. It's been a minute, but yeah, definitely thank all of you guys for stopping by. Whoever listened, who only stopped by for a second, who only peeked in to see what I was talking about, to only thank all of you. Like seriously, like from the bottom of my motherfucking heart. Like I'm so thankful you guys are here to listen to it, and I hope I helped you guys, kind of give you guys some perspective on how to like get your dreams. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Don't feel guilty about what other people are doing. Don't feel guilty or sad about where you're at and what you're doing. Just as long as you keep on working towards what you want and that you love and appreciate every second of it. I love you guys. Seriously, I fucking love you guys. Like, take care. Have a wonderful motherfucking night. God damn it. I love you guys. Bye.